That's so cool, the falling people.
Yeah.
It comes from this. Oh, can you see it? There it is.
Yeah.
Great. Should we talk about the game?
Yeah, let's do it.
Okay,
Let's do it.
this.
You can talk about yourself too if you want.
Yes. Well, that's harder for me to do.
Oh, okay. Sure.
My name is Spenser Starke. I am a game designer. I am really excited to bring you this game. It's called Icarus. It's on Kickstarter right now. It is about how great civilizations fall. So we are collectively going to play out the fall of a utopia. Okay. And the game is a little bit different from standard RPGs. It's more of, if you played the Quiet Year or Dialect, it has sort of a macro RPG scale. So we should think of this whole game as the season of a TV show. Oh. That's sort of the scale that we're at, right? So we're gonna explore things over a very long period of time.
Got it.
We should also describe things as scenes, and like you'll see as we play, but like there will be moments that we drill down and look at a specific moment in time, and we should describe those as though we're watching them on top.
Okay. Cool.
Awesome. So I'm gonna read the very beginning of this paper version of the book so far. This will be in a full book form, and there's a deck of cards. For those of you who can see, there's like a deck of cards here that it comes with. It will come with custom die. For right now, we just have regular D6.
And there's a sweet high tier with the kick-ass wooden box.
Oh yeah, yeah, the wooden box is so cool. Okay, so I'm gonna read this. Is it going crazy?
Not you, my phone.
So, Icarus is a collaborative storytelling game about the fall of a great civilization. Every game begins in a city-nation known as Icarus at the height of its power, where, in celebration, the city has decided to erect a massive, ever-growing monument in the center of town to display its prestige to the world. Each of you will choose a pillar of this society to embody and receive a motive for the character you're playing. During the game, you'll be stacking dice to represent the construction of this monument, drawing cards from a story deck to create the escalating events in the city, and influencing the outcome of those events through actions driven by your character's motives. You'll collaboratively discover what it means for a civilization to decay, as they all do with time, and when the monument finally falls, your civilization falls with it, and the game comes to an end. So I read that so that we're all on the same page as to what this game will look like. Our goal is to tell a great story, and that's the only way we win. The city will fall, it will always fall. It's just about how, right? So I've already built the story deck here, so I'm gonna keep this here. But the first thing we need to do, we're gonna play with the three of you, and I'm going to facilitate. So there is no GM in this game.
Okay.
It is GM-less, but I will facilitate. Anarchy.
That is why the civilization falls.
But I will be sort of making sure you guys know what to do next and how the game is supposed to flow. Once we go one round, you'll sort of get it. It's not that difficult, but yeah, let's go ahead and get started. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to look at the back of the book that has a bunch of setting suggestions. Now, we can make up our own, but for sake of time, we'll choose one from here.
Cool.
So there are a bunch of options here. I'll sort of give a brief overview of what they are, and if there's something that stands out to you guys, something that you want to explore, let me know. There's the first city, which is the first city of mankind, like Stone Age kind of thing. The Place of Magic, which is a fantasy setting. The Opulent Tides, which is like a, it's like a, what's it called, an island city. The Western Haven, which is the Wild West. There is the Divine Jungle, which is sort of Mayan-inspired. The Red Prometheus, which is the first major city on Mars.
Oh, sweet.
There is the Rising Singularity, which is the first place that AI and humans live together.
Okay.
Oh, sweet.
The Final Frontier is
Space.
the final one, which is like the first place where humans and aliens cohabitate together.
Cool.
Is there anything that stands out to you as a thing that you really want to do? And again, we can always customize these as well. So.
Guest person.
Oh,
Yeah.
I mean, I like magic, so.
Yeah, we can do the magic. I'll read it and let's see if it's something.
Let's
we
create
wanna
the real
explore.
utopia and just do a little bit of each.
Yeah. So I'm going to read the sort of summary of this, and we can tweak it as needed. So, in a beautiful yet treacherous land imbued with magic and threatened by the evils of both man and beast, the city of Icarus has quickly risen to prominence in the region. Filled with some of the most brilliant and dangerous dungeon delvers, wielders of the mystics, and speakers of the beyond, it has quickly become the center of knowledge and power in the region. Does that sound right?
Yeah.
Yeah, cool.
Don't mind me.
Oh, okay. Okay, great. So we'll sort of play out this. We'll talk more about how this civilization looks and feels through the pillars. So the first thing we'll do, we have a deck of pillars of the civilization, pillars of society. We're going to draw randomly the number of cards equal to the number of players plus 1. So there'll be 1 left over when we're done. So I'm going to pull these out randomly. So there's architecture, artistic expression, safety, and diplomacy. So you don't need to read the questions if you don't want to. If there's something that stands out to you as something you want to explore in this fantasy city, please feel free to grab it. We will be answering all of the strength questions except for one. One of them will be a weakness that we begin with. But don't worry about that now. Just whatever stands out to you, something that you're interested in, go ahead and grab it.
I'm gonna grab diplomacy.
Yeah.
This one just fell in front of me.
Yeah.
I'm gonna trust fate.
Do it. Great. So the one that is left is going to be the purpose of the tower that we are building.
Oh, okay.
Interesting.
So go ahead and read your strength and weakness questions, and if there's a weakness that you feel like would be interesting to explore, you can go ahead and shout it out. Now, weaknesses are not in this game are not necessarily a bad thing if you choose yours to be the weakness.
Okay.
It usually means that you are going to have more interaction with that element of the world in the beginning. Because you were going to be sort of the fodder. You were going to be one of the reasons why the civilization is struggling.
Okay.
Because it's collaborative, it doesn't put you at a disadvantage. It just,
So,
is
may I
negative.
ask for an example?
Sure. So let's talk about safety. So
Okay.
safety is not going to be the weakness
Got it.
because it is the pillar, or it is the tower rather. But if it was the weakness, it says the people of Icarus all share a common fear. What is it, and where did it come from? So you would answer that question, and that would become one of what's called an aspect on the table. So during the course of the game, we're going to be creating aspects. These are I just took some note cards and come up with the actual game. It'll come with a writ pad of paper that you can use. But for this example, we just cut some note cards. So you'll be able to write down on that note card.
Spencer?
Yeah?
Did you mind tapping your mic real quick?
Hello?
Make sure you're working.
Am I working? Hello?
No, it's not working. Okay. There should be another mic right there.
Kenny, on the table right there.
Oh yeah, right behind you.
Oh, no, that one doesn't work.
Oh, that one doesn't work.
But we had 5 mics earlier. There you go. Let's replace the mic.
Okay.
I got you.
No.
Apparently now it's another one.
Oh, can you lift your legs just a second?
Oh, that's why.
Is that why?
All right, Kenny, try tap.
Oh yeah, this one got smooshed.
Oh, I got smooshed.
Oh, once more.
No, in 2 places they got
We
smooshed.
need shotgun next.
Cheers, everybody. Bye-bye. Click. Dog show guess. Let's get your shit together, chunk. I'm here. I'm done. I'm doing my job.
We can hear you now. We see you better.
Okay, great. I sounded a little bit far away. Great. Okay, so the people of Icarus all share a common fear. What is it and where did it come from? You'd be creating an aspect that reflects the answer to that question.
Got it.
So it might be like they're all afraid of giant spiders that are crawling through that crawl through the jungles or whatever.
Okay.
With that being said, I'm going to introduce another thing called Next Card. Have you guys played with Next Card before? So X cards are great. I'm going to put it on the table within reach of everybody. I'll just put it here. We can all reach that, right? So the purpose of the X card is if there is any content in the game that you find is not something you want to explore. It's not something that you're interested in having in the game, whether that is because thematically you don't think it fits, or just because personally you don't like it. So if there's something that is traumatic or something that if you don't like I said, if you don't like spiders and spiders give you heebie-jeebies, and you're going to spend the next hour and a half not liking this game, you can just tap the X card and say, hey, can we change that to something else? So it's a safety tool. It's on the table. Usually when we put it on the table, we don't use it because everybody feels like it's there in case we need it. But when it's not here, sometimes things come up, and
Okay.
we're talking about some big thematic things in this game. We're talking about dramatic moments and hard. You'll see, we're talking about hard questions to answer, and so I want to make sure everybody feels safe and like they have an out if there's something that comes up that you don't want to explore. Okay, so. That being said, go ahead and read your strength and weakness questions. If you want to explore your weakness, let me know. We can go around and read them too and see how it
sure.
goes. Do you want to do that? Do you want to read your weakness?
I've got diplomacy. Oh, so my weakness is hostile nations surround Icarus. Which is the most dangerous and why?
And gluten.
How about you?
So strength, artistic expression. Icarus is known around the world for its unique forms of artistic expression. What are artists recognized for here, and what makes their work so unique?
Great, so that's a strength, and then the weakness is...
Weakness? Oh, shit, okay.
That's okay.
Weakness is artistic expression has been suppressed or outlawed in Icarus. Why was it banned, and how do artists now hide their work in plain sight? Which could be fun.
Yeah.
Donk Show says, good thing Chunk isn't playing. He doesn't have any weaknesses.
Oh god.
So true.
I think you made that up.
Nah.
Like, even humbleness is just not there.
There's a lot of qualities I lack.
For architecture, the weakness is the buildings within Icarus have started to deteriorate. What weak or unsustainable material was used to build here and why?
Interesting. So what do we feel like? Which weakness are we most interested in exploring?
I like the concept of artists, underground doing
Yeah.
their thing.
Sticking it to the man.
I like that one a lot.
Yeah. Is that cool?
Yeah. I'm
Okay,
down.
great. So I'm going to hand you all an aspect. So you're going to answer, you both are going to answer the strength questions, and you're going to answer the weakness question on your
Oh,
card.
okay.
So just take a minute, and while you're doing that, I will sort of talk about the next step. I'll talk about the story deck that I built.
I get a...
Oh, you didn't get one. I'm so sorry.
Thank you.
There you go. So yeah, the strength question, and then that will go, the answer will go in front of you, and it will face outwardly at the table. Now the thing about aspects to keep in mind is that we're going to be writing a lot of these during the game.
Okay.
And they will be spread out on the table like a mind map to try and like organize our thoughts, right? So the important thing here is that you don't want them to be super long. You want to use like a phrase or a sentence because you'll be able to explain more about the aspect when we talk about it. But we want it to be easily recognizable on the table. Does that make sense? So you can put like, this would be, to go back to the weakness here, the people of Icarus all share a common fear. What is it and where did it come from? You could say, if you wanted to do the giant spiders, you would put giant spiders from the jungle, right? You'd have the opportunity to sort of talk more about that as we go, but that would make it easily recognizable as that's the thing.
Okay.
Right? Cool.
Got it.
Got it.
While they work on that, I'm going to talk about the story deck. So the story deck is made up of 4 eras, mainly 3 eras and then 1 final era. There is a whole deck of cards in here, essentially, that I have pulled from. So not all of the cards in the deck are used during the game. You saw me put some of the pillars away. These are also story deck cards. So the ones that I pulled go into this story deck that's going to sit on the table. Story deck is made of, like I said, 4 eras. The first one is the cracks in our facade, and you'll be able to recognize that by the, I'll put it here, by the falling man, the single falling man on the back of the card. When we get to the second era, which is the rifts between us, there will be 2 falling men.
Overhead cam, sir.
There will be 2 falling men. So there's the 1 falling man.
One falling man.
And then there are the 2 falling men.
2 falling man.
That is the second era of the game. Finally, we may or may not make it to the 3rd era,
3rd falling man.
which is 3 falling men, and that is the final hours. And then if we make it all the way through here, which we could, mathematically, probability-wise, there is a chance we make it all the way through there. Ooh. We get to the black card, which is the bitter end. I was pulling away from you. The bitter end. And so that will also do another thing if we have to flip it over. But that is the deck that we build to start with. There are 5 of the first 2 eras, 5 of the cracks in our facade and the rifts between us, and then 12 of the final hours. How's everybody doing? Yeah.
So this was very basic, right? We get to describe it.
Yes. So
more.
we're gonna go around and talk about it.
Cool.
And then we'll also be making characters after this, which will take which your character will have something to do with your pillar, and then also involve one of these motive cards that I have here that are randomly handed out. So how are we doing? Are we okay to go around and talk about it?
I'm answering my second question because I have a two for here.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Why is it banned and what? And how do artists
I
hide
think we're only
their working
doing
place
the
side?
weakness.
Oh yeah, this just has 2 questions in it. It's why is it
I see,
banned
I
and
see.
how do artists
why
help?
was art banned?
So this one's
How?
always the weakness is always the hardest one because it's sort of like everything is involved in that. So why don't we go through and why don't they share theirs and then we'll come to yours, and if you need more time we can workshop it.
Cool.
Is that cool?
Yeah.
So let's
We were answering the weakness question?
No, you're answering this question.
Good.
You're good.
Manly Mutt says, as long as the important thing is to answer the question, how do they beat Ryan? That's the important one.
I think we finally found a game where we can't beat Ryan because we're all
everyone
together.
loses at the same time.
We're gonna lose anyway.
Yeah, we're all gonna win though because we're telling a good story. That's the thing. Okay, so let's start with you. So you're you want to read your question, what your pillar is, your question, and then what your answer is.
So my pillar is diplomacy. My question was, Icarus has forged strong relationships with the surrounding civilizations. What is the most common export we send to them, and what do we receive in return? I didn't pick what we receive in return yet, but what we're sending out at the moment is it's red marble from the quarries, and I'm figuring we're in a magical world, so there will be some particular property to that red marble, like maybe it's flexible marble until you decide that is its shape, right? So something like that, something malleable. It's like clay marble almost.
Yeah, that's cool.
And then what we receive in return, vegetables.
Wow. So this presents an interesting conversation that we're gonna have, right? Because like we're producing this red marble, which means that we have quarries that are near our city, and also that we probably have miners in the city. That's probably a prominent thing here.
Yeah, there's always young people in the city.
Shut up, Brian! Just get out of here!
That's the game. Thank you so much. We'll see you next time.
Ryan ruined it for everybody.
This ain't Wednesday, man. This ain't Wednesday.
The game is broken and we all lose. The other thing that we're introducing here is that we receive vegetables, so we don't grow those. Right? Because we were receiving them.
Our marble is that good. People just want to keep us alive to keep producing.
Yeah. So
think this
vegetables are something that we would be importing, which is fine, which is good, because we're relying on somewhere else to be able to get food, which is cool. Great, let's jump over to you. Do you read your question and answer?
It is in architecture. The strength is the buildings within Icarus look like no other place on the planet. Why is this, and how does it affect the way people perceive the city? So I wrote that it was because there is a rare mineral that they use that contains a source of mana, a naturally occurring mana. And it is stronger in the presence of magic users.
Is it red marble?
It could be. And so with the way that it is used, it gives off an aura to the city. And so it basically makes it so that the city doesn't even have to produce its own light source. It's just glowing.
Cool. It's glowing. That's so cool. Yeah, I mean, are we okay to connect these?
Absolutely.
Does that feel cool?
Yeah.
Okay, so the source, the red marble, the whole city is made of this cool, glowing red marble. That's awesome. That's really, really cool. Let's jump over to you.
Okay, so my weakness is artistic expression has been suppressed. Why? Why was it banned? Because this is a civilization that literally builds its foundation on strength. Impracticality, which is artistic expression to these people, distracts from their core values.
Yeah. So what do artists doing to hide their work in plain sight?
That's a very good question.
So let's talk about that, right?
Yeah.
So
the thing that came through my mind is that they themselves are, however you want to describe it, their own personal expressions of, be it miming, I don't know, or
It's underground mime club. I'm in.
So you're saying like they embody it? Is that what you mean? Are they like sort of
that's
bardish?
just the first spark of
Yeah.
something.
So how do artists now hide their work in plain sight?
Oh, it's Fahrenheit 451. They're just all books.
Oh, like they hide them as books? Is that what you mean?
Am I suggesting? Are we breaking?
Yeah,
Yeah,
no,
go for it, yeah.
suggesting,
They
yeah.
could hide it. So like some of the people who are crafting the things out of red marble could hide it in the swirls of the marble. It's like if you look at it in a particular way, it's like, hey, now this is script, or now this is art.
Like one of those like old 90s Magic
right,
Eye posters.
You have to cross your, you have to get super
Yeah.
close and cross your eyes and
I
then
like that,
slowly
yeah.
move back. Yeah, so they're hiding it. They're hiding it in the marble itself. That's really cool. So let's go ahead and write that down.
Hide it in the marble itself.
They hide the art in the marble. Great. Now I'm going to hand everybody a motive card. These are shuffled and handed out randomly. So we'll see. You can play hidden or you can play face up. I prefer to play face up because it creates more of a storytelling feel. But if you want to play where you're like having secrets from each other, you can also do that. So, do you guys want to play face up or face down?
I'm good face up.
Okay.
Cool.
Let's all work together
that'll
to
be like a
take
level
this
2
civilization
thing.
down.
Oh, well.
Sweet.
There you go. So does everybody want to read what their motive is?
Sure. I have preserve the city.
Protect the leaders.
Get rich.
Great. So now we're going to spend a minute and let me do my thing. We're going to spend a minute and write down. Oh, it's right here. Write down characters for this game. So these characters are not aspects; they are their own piece of paper. But you're going to just write the name of your character. Your character should embody your pillar in some way and have your motive. So you'll write down their name, their occupation, any physical details you want about them, anything else that you think is important to
Okay.
share. Yeah, and so just take a minute. And also, I have, in the book, there are suggestions for names and resources and technologies and imagery. So if you want something to draw from, you can always look at the book too.
Okay.
If you need a quick name option. So we'll take a minute and do that.
Will we be playing such characters?
You will be playing this character, yes.
okay.
When you make decisions, they should be some sort of somewhat prominent person in the city, somebody that could enact change in some way. Because during the game, you will be taking the role of this character to be able to make changes in the city in accordance with your motive.
Okay.
Spencer?
Yes.
Was there something about chairs?
Something about chairs.
Never mind, maybe I'm reading wrong.
Okay.
Somebody asked the question. I don't know if it was a question about
There's
the game.
not enough places to sit in this city.
Okay, bye. Trying to be helpful.
All right.
There are two motives we didn't get, which I'll explain why you guys are doing that. This one is, I'll put it like this. Is that the right way? Yeah. Protect the citizens, which is sort of a, the other way, a compliment on protect the leaders. And then also there is a bring down Icarus card. So that would be somebody who plays sort of the rebel inside of the, inside of the game. Somebody who is leading some sort of rebel alliance.
Would it help if we zoomed in the top camera?
We're going to be spreading out aspects all over this
I'll
table.
leave it alone.
So, yeah, I think it'll be okay.
I was trying to help you.
Yeah, no,
I was trying to be helpful.
thanks, Chunk. I love you.
He's even breathing sad. Hey, thanks for the follow.
Thank you.
Hey, thanks for the follow.
Hey.
Bum bum bum. That's a sub.
Chunk, your time is here. We have a little interlude while they make their characters. Do you want to give us a little song?
Bum bum bum. This is a song I'm singing right now. This is all I got 'cause I didn't prepare anything. Shouldn't you be writing something?
I already wrote it.
Oh,
Go on.
So the characters.
I'm singing a song.
But with
I'm not
this and with this, yeah.
Look at that dude falling down the sky. That's all I got.
So, like, you could be,
That's it.
you,
I don't know what you guys
you
wanted.
could be playing somebody who is trying to who's trying to monitor the artistic, right? Like that's something you could create. You go the opposite.
What'd you write, Danny?
We're gonna get there. Hold on. I forgot. We have to wrap this all together.
Yeah, it should have something to do with diplomacy
Yeah. Okay.
and preserve the city.
Perfect. Done.
Great. The last thing that we need to do is talk about what the purpose of the tower is. So let's talk about that. So the only question, we ignore the questions that are on here. The only question we answer is, what is the purpose of the tower? What does it do? It is safety. So within this universe we've created, what do we think this looks like, or what do you think is the purpose of a giant tower they might be building in the city?
So I have an idea.
Sure.
Since this red marble gives off an aura of magic, possibly there's a maybe either like there's a form of negative energy in the city, or a evil creature that feeds off like the opposite of the magic. So it's keeping something away. So it's like a beacon.
Yeah.
It's just the only reason why the city hasn't fallen so far.
repellent.
Yeah.
Yeah. So maybe it's like a tower that they're building that sort of creates an aura that reaches farther beyond the scope of the city than we've been able to build. Right.
Which would
And it
actually
keeps you
help my
safe.
character, because are we actually able to go into characters yet or no?
Not yet.
Okay,
We're going to
never
go into
mind.
characters in just a minute. Okay, so I'm going to write down the purpose of the tower is a beacon of light that keeps let's say what do we want to call them? I think it's interesting that the city is always lit. Right. So what if they're like the shadow, the night creatures, something that has to do with darkness? Is there anything that rings true to anybody? Night Eaters is cool. Anybody in chat?
The dream takers.
Chat.
Oh, chat.
Chat. What are we looking for?
Just some sort of name that has to do with darkness, or like the creatures that are being held at bay.
Let's see.
Done.
Highlander said Gondor. Kenny said idea.
Langoliers.
James Coop said emoji with thinking face.
The Dark-a-Nose.
Das Nachthuhns.
Nah.
Nosferatu.
I mean, yeah, but nah.
Nosferatus.
Night bears.
I said night dogs in German.
What's night dogs in German?
Nachthund?
Another name, but we're avoiding to be
How do
political
you
on this
spell it?
channel.
N-A-C-H-T. Hound.
Thrawn.
Yes.
Yeah.
I'm guessing.
Dusk Runners. Bellatrix.
H-O-U-N-D?
Yeah.
Diva's Nightmares.
I like that.
Nachthund.
Nachthund?
Ich verstehe nur ein bisschen Deutsch.
The Nachthund.
She was the foreign exchange student in our town. Now speaking German.
So these are creatures that are knocking on our door, metaphorically, and we're keeping them at bay using this this tower. So we're starting to erect this tower because as we're starting to have to expand because of the marble quarries and all these different things, we're having to move farther outside of the city, and we're not protected beyond there. Right. Okay, I'm gonna put this away because now we have our main thing. How's everybody doing? Do you want to talk about characters?
I'm doing good.
Sure.
I'm doing good. How you doing, Spencer?
I'm good.
Yeah. That's good.
I'm good. This game, I do a lot of check-ins because we can get sort of intense sometimes.
Got it. Cool.
What was that? What was the question?
Anybody need any snacks?
I'm gonna have some water.
I'm good, Mom.
Let's start with you. Let's talk about your character that you've created.
I'm Bedil Barlow. I'm going to abandon this accent very quickly.
Good. Yeah, because it's offensive.
Probably, yes. I am a tradesman, turned ambassador and historian. It is my job to, maintain the old ways of the marble. No art. Art is not allowed.
I love that. That's great. What do you think that Bedel?
Bedel.
What do you think Bedel looks like?
He's a guy who used to be very strong, but then enjoyed food once he retired. So he's got heavy robes, lots of big cloth-covered buttons, kind of a general slope shape.
Nothing. I'm talking to the chat.
He's got like curly ringlet hair, black, kind of like he tries to comb it back, but he gives up halfway. This guy's really busy with his work though. But he's always greeting people as they come into the town, like if they make it through the forest or whatever, past the Nachthund and they make it. He's the guy to be like, oh look how great we are. He's also the guy striking deals with other nations and stuff.
Great. That's great. Let's jump over to you.
Okay. I am Sir Alabaster Flynn. He's about a 6'2", stocky guy, salt and pepper hair, kind of a gruff beard. Doesn't necessarily.
What's your accent?
What?
What's your
The
accent?
first time ever, Ryan doesn't have one.
No, he doesn't have an accent. He's actually from a different place. But he is one of the owners of the mining operation in town.
Oh, yeah.
So, since this is the city's main source of revenue, he's right in the thick of it. He owns one of the operations, and he makes sure that the spice is always flowing.
Great. I love it. It's so good. Okay, let's jump over to you.
Okay. I am somebody who just goes by the name Madrigal. No last name. Just Madrigal. I'm quite tall, about 6'3".
Okay.
Nice.
I have this makeshift, braided mohawk going
so
all
cool.
the way down my back. I am the captain of the city guard, who is in charge of specifically City Hall, or the equivalent of City Hall,
Right.
dispatching my subordinates to make sure that none of them colorful artistic types come anywhere near
Yeah.
the people that are running the city. One of them being my aunt.
Are you also in charge of protecting in general? Was this with a Nahun? Was that something?
That too.
Nahtun? That too. Yeah. So you're basically just you're looking out for all the things that could be a
But
problem.
I'm personally invested in
the artistic stuff.
Yeah,
Okay.
and City Hall.
And City Hall stuff. Okay, great. Let's go. I forgot to do this. Let's go through and do pronouns. So I call you by the right thing. Are you he, him? Okay. He.
I'm she.
She, her. Okay, great. Just so I don't call you guys by the wrong ones. So the next thing that we'll do, actually, we can take your character and you'll set it towards you like this, and then I can take all of these away now because these are the pillars and they've been written down as aspects. So you can now flip those and then I'm gonna put this like this.
Timothy Moss wants to know where Cucumber is. He says he doesn't work after 4 on Saturdays. So he left.
He's gone, dude.
Okay.
It's 4 o'clock somewhere.
So, now we're going to pull a couple of cards off the top before we do the regular round to sort of create a base for some issues that are arising in our city. We're going to answer these collectively. So during your turn, you will be drawing a card. You will be able to ask, of course, for input from everybody, but you will ultimately have final say over what that is. So the first ones we'll sort of do together, and then once it's your turn, you will have the final say on those things. So I'm going to flip this one. Oh, an existing weakness or problem has started to affect another aspect in the city. What major issue within the community is it creating? So let's look at the problem we have, which is the artistic expression being pushed down. Let's find another issue that is starting to affect in the city. One of these two things. Is there anything that?
So, did you have something? No. Okay. Since artistic vision is kind of something maybe that's a natural form of magic, the fact that it's being suppressed is making the magic weaker.
Interesting.
And
That's
so
really
when the magic users are getting less and less strong, so is the tower.
Yeah, I love that. That's really cool. Do we want to do that?
Let's do that.
Okay, that sounds good. So do you want to write that as an aspect? So maybe just lack of
Artistic vision
yes
leads to weaker magic.
Yeah, exactly.
Literally zapping the city of its power.
Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah.
Okay, great. So that's gonna go in the discard, and then we'll draw one more.
And also, all of America. No.
There are talks of a terrible storm headed towards the city from the north. What kind of storm is it? And how do people know it's coming? What do you guys think?
Terrible storm.
Yeah, so it could be metaphorical or it could be physical.
Don't know what kind of storm it is, but people know it's coming because there have been more noctuned sightings. Because animals know first when a terrible disaster
Yeah,
is
so
coming.
they're trying to take refuge in the city
Yeah.
almost, more near the city. That's really cool. So, is it a magical storm? Is it? It could just be a physical lightning storm if we wanted. It could be. Because we're in a fantasy city, it might behoove us to come up with something fun and magical. Is there a suggestion we have for some sort of magical anomaly that's happening?
Like a cloud of wild magic, something like that.
Sure.
It changes anything that it touches
Yeah.
some drastic way.
Yeah. Just it's almost like inverting, or not. Maybe not inverting, but maybe it's just I don't know.
Twisting.
It's like twisting. Yeah, I think of Annihilation.
Okay, yeah.
Right? Have you guys seen Annihilation or read Annihilation? So it takes DNA and just like warps it together, or like it's a prism for that DNA.
Yeah.
So maybe it's taking trees and animals and just melding them, and so we're seeing the Noctunes running, and some of the Noctunes
But
who are
they're really
coming
messed
in,
up.
yeah, they're all
Yeah.
messed up. They like have parts of bears or parts of like vines along their back and stuff. So it's starting to really mess that up.
Which in itself is artistic expression, which is doubly bad.
Yeah, for you guys. Okay, do you want to write that down? Great. And that means we're going to start with you.
Oh, okay. Hey.
So you're going to be
up?
first player.
Okay.
What that means is
Player one.
I'm going to walk you through the first turn. The game happens in two phases. The normal play happens in two phases. The first phase is that you're going to take a die, and you're going to put it on something that your character. Madrigal? Madrigal wants to change in accordance with her motives.
Okay.
Right? The second thing you're going to do is you're going to draw a card from this deck, and you're going to answer it and create an aspect using that answer.
Okay.
The second round that we're going to do, the first player takes the die, and they put it on the tower. That's the first thing the first player does, and the first player will change throughout the game. So you will always be adding at least one die to the tower. The second thing you'll do is you'll take the die that you've put on the thing you want to change, and you will describe what success would look like here for you.
Okay.
Then you'll roll the die. On a 1, 2, 3, or 4, it's a failure. On a 5 or 6, it's a success. So the odds are stacked against you. Once you have seen the result, you will either talk about how you succeeded, follow through on that success, and add or change an aspect on the table to reflect that success. Or, and then you'll take the die and put it back in the pool. Or, on a failure, you will talk about how, through your efforts, that problem has escalated. And you will create an aspect that reflects that escalation, and then you will take that die that you rolled, that you failed, and add it to the tower.
Okay.
Once the tower gets too high, it will fall, and that will signal the end of the game. One quick note, you can place, you can place a die on an aspect somebody else is trying to change. If you want to change it in the same way, you can pool those die. So if you two want to change this aspect in a similar way with a similar result, then you can put them both on the aspect like that, and then when it comes time to resolve them, you'll roll both. If one of them succeeds, then that is a success. Any failures still have to be added to the tower, so if one of them fails, but that thing will succeed. If you want to go against somebody, you can. We put them on opposite sides of the aspect. Does that make sense? Okay, great. So we're going to start with the initial round. So I'm going to hand you a die.
Right.
Why don't you place it on something that Madrigal wants to change?
Wants to change. We got the quarters. Foundationally.
So, as a reminder, you can put it on something that you want to take from being bad to being good.
Okay.
Or you can place it on something that is already good to try and make it better or to modify it in some way.
Okay.
Right?
Drawn to the red marble from the quarries.
Yeah. So what are you looking to change there? So you can put your die on there. And then
Here,
just
like
describe,
this?
just like that. And just describe briefly for us, what do you think Madrigal is trying to change so we understand the narrative?
I think what she wants to do is that she wants to basically, don't know how, but
Hey, thanks for the sub, Desiree.
really monitor specifically who is bringing in the red marble from the quarries to suss out who may or may not surreptitiously be hiding.
Be adding things to it. Yeah, that's great. So let's talk about briefly, because now we have sort of a character introducing something. Let's talk about briefly how this TV show opens, right? So let's go around and just paint the scene. We'll start with you since you're the first player. This is just something we do. Like, this isn't in the instructions, but this is something I like to do to sort of set the scene. So starting with you, what do you think the opening shot of the show is?
I think the opening shot from the show is whole like bird's eye view of the city
cool.
itself. We're breaking through the clouds just so you
Yeah.
can see just how grand
Yeah.
the city is. And
It's like glowing.
It's
through
glowing,
the clouds.
exactly.
Even. Like you can see
we're
the.
breaking through, but we keep from the tower because
Yeah.
that's our crowning glory.
Yeah,
so
yeah,
we're
yeah.
going to show, basically, we'll start in the quarries. Why not?
Yeah, that's cool.
Yeah.
So we start like, and we see them like trucking.
Break through the clouds, yes.
Yeah.
Go to where the quarries are. Then you see the working men and the working women
Yeah.
basically taking the physical lifeblood of the city
Yeah.
into the city
I
itself.
love that. So from there, what do you think we're seeing in these mines? Like, describe for us the scene that lays before us.
You see people leaning against each slab, almost communicating with it, telling it where to break, so they can, because it is magically reactive, they can communicate like, I only want this much of you, and they can put that on the pile, and it responds. So it's very, instead of like, sweaty backs and all that stuff, it's much more beautiful than it's like more like a harvest kind of thing. So there's also this mutual respect thing happening.
Yeah, and so they're speaking to the stones almost to do this. Great, and then where do we think we go from there? What do you think we see as like we land, as we move out of the mines? What's our next stop?
So on that kind of sense, maybe you pull out of the mine as they're doing that ritual, and you kind of like pull back into maybe a smaller version of the tower, maybe like a first construction, and people are already leaving like little stones at it, or just like little offerings.
Yeah. Yeah, that's so cool. Well, yeah, because the tower should be being built during this game.
Oh, okay.
So maybe we go to the center of the city. Maybe we, through the sewers or whatever of the city, and we pop up in the town center and just see this like first. This isn't here yet, but like this first area, like
the base.
The base, yeah. And we're seeing people like maybe it's just a circle of this red marble in the center, and people are already leaving offerings. That's really, really cool. And then we get the shot of Madrigal, and Madrigal is probably giving orders, right? About what? So what does that look like?
Are we still in the opening credits?
I think we're probably moving out of the opening
Okay,
credits at this
cool.
point, and we're into like the actual scene. So what does the scene look like as you're like giving orders for this to happen?
She's actually at the quarries itself,
cool.
and they're in the middle of essentially a raid.
Oh, very cool. Okay, so we're getting this raid that's happening. That's sort of
She's questioning people left, right, and center.
Yeah, that's so good. I love that. And they're, I love the idea that they are very calm and collected and are peaceful in ways, and there's sort of this brash voice that's coming in and echoing through the mines. Great, so you're going to be second. Oh, we have to draw a card. So,
okay.
so I'm going to hand you this.
Sorry, but like thematically, I can even imagine like as her raid is like coming in, the light from the rock kind of dims a little bit.
Dimming.
as-
Oh, that's so cool. Yeah, and like receding into it, like the light is receding through the tunnels. Do you want to read that for us?
Okay, the cracks in our facade. An unpopular subculture within the city is holding a festival, and some members of the community have shown up to try and shut it down. What is a subculture, and why is it looked down upon? Popular subculture within the city.
Cyberpunks.
Cyberpunks.
Just really
Yeah.
go genre adjacent here. Just
We got
perpendicular.
cyberpunks, we got magic, we got
Cyber magic.
popular subculture within the city is holding a festival.
So you can look around and see what what is already on the table. What's a cool thing we could explore? I mean, the one that jumps out to me, right, is like, are there artists who are
Oh, of course there are.
who want to be known? You know, like, is that something we want to explore, or is it the people that are relegated to the mines that are holding their own festival
Right.
about the peaceful? There's like there's a couple of things.
Monty, remind me again, where do vegetables come in?
We're,
just looked at the card and everyone-
we export red marble, and the biggest thing that we get in from our neighbors are vegetables. I'm gonna say we have fruits. We just don't have veggies, so we gotta trade for that nutrition.
Cool. I want to say, popular subculture. You know what? Chefs are artists. And they are holding, essentially, they are planning, anyway, on holding their version of what they think is a food festival in which they take such vegetables, these rare and precious items, and again, they're using their culinary skills, garnish the hell out of what is meant to be just, standard fuel for your everyday ins and outs and whatever. So they're holding, basically, the subculture is they've all gotten together and they were like, citizens, here we go. Here is like the latest in protein. Here's the latest X, Y, and Z. But they were hitting just like flourishes here and there. Yeah, exactly.
Illegal
Like, there's-
gastronomy.
Right. There's exactly.
Yeah, so like the artisan chefs
Yeah.
are holding a food festival.
Yeah.
And then who has shown up to try and shut it down? What members of the community have shown up to try and shut it down?
Preserving the
Yeah,
city.
definitely.
Yeah.
Mary Matt says, so the Paris fashion show for food.
Yes, I love it. Do you want to start to write that, and we can figure out who that is? That's going to be probably the
The squasher of new things, Biddle Barlow, is going to
So
show.
what do you think what's the name of the group that tries to hold on to the old traditions?
Ooh, the palettes.
The palettes. Oh, I love it. That's really good. So the palettes have shown up to try and shut it down.
Oh no, sorry, I thought the pallets were the people
Oh, the
cooking
palettes
the
are
food.
the
Yeah.
people.
Yeah.
Oh, that's even that's even better. I thought it was like you have a set palette and that is what we do.
We have 3 flavors,
We have
damn
3
it.
flavors. Yeah, but no, the
Brown,
name
browner,
for-
and brownest. Yeah.
But what do you think the organization
versus the
or like the
swatches.
group that you follow?
The Icarus Preservation Society, of course.
Yeah.
Yes.
The IPS.
Yeah.
So the Preservation Society has shown up to try and shut it down.
Culinary are holding a.
Great. So I'm going to hand you this while she's writing that. This might be the thing that you put that on. I'm not.
Okay.
And you don't have to, but that seems like narratively
Yeah,
what might be
that's what I would do.
interesting. So so we can say once you're done with that you'll put it on there. If that's what you want.
In nutritional development. Okay.
Yeah. Okay, so we'll say that you're going to put that there. I'll just put this next to it, and then I'm going to give you a card.
All right.
So where am I putting this?
Probably between artistic expression, which is you, and what else do you think? Architecture,
Me.
because it's the city. Yeah, so maybe like there. That's good. And then I'll take this, and then I'll put this die on there for you.
All right. So now we have an outside force has come to the city to negotiate a deal.
Oh.
Who are they and what do they want?
Well,
Well, if it's, I'm going to say it's a different force. We'll have a couple fronts happening. I'm
Sure.
going to say this is a neighboring city outside of our nation that was hit with the cloud, with the wild magic cloud. So now they're like part plant, part animal, whatever. They're
Yeah.
all twisted and wacky. But now, of course, the things that they have to eat are different. So they want our precious vegetables.
Oh, interesting. So they're trying to come in and negotiate for those.
Trying to negotiate.
Barely have
yeah.
enough as it is.
I know. What are they thinking, these little plant people?
Take this. So yeah, just who are they and what do they want?
Proud, twisted folk. And they want our veggies, our sweet, sweet.
My cabbages.
I'm sorry about the vegetables, guys. I don't know why.
We
Great.
need them to live.
And then I'm going to hand you a die.
Alrighty.
Put it on something they're interested, that you think your character is interested. What's your name? Sorry?
Sir Alabaster Flynn.
Sir Alabaster Flynn. What you think Sir Alabaster Flynn is interested in changing here?
All right.
I'm gonna put it on the cloud.
Oh,
okay.
yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, that probably is going to cause some problems.
That, and also I'm thinking maybe if he studied the magic enough, that maybe he's thinking he can make the rock stronger by tapping into the cloud that's coming.
Yeah.
So
And be able to sell that.
exactly.
Market it. Great. I'm going to hand you a card.
Alrighty.
I like your motivation. Get rich.
Yeah.
Get rich. All right. The cracks in our facade. A group is sent out to investigate a strange anomaly just beyond the border of the city. What did they see, and who is going to investigate? Okay.
I'll send my people.
Bettel will wave as they go.
Good luck.
Tiny man.
I'm going to say that they saw a mirror image of the city of Icarus.
That's awesome.
Are they in the same state of construction that we are, or are they complete?
It is a frozen image,
Okay.
but it is halfway of the tower construction.
Oh, so it's like almost ahead in time.
It's in the future.
It's in the future. That's great. I love that. So like that image, right? And like in the TV show is just like them looking out over the through the forest and just seeing this other city
That glows exactly the same way. But yeah, they can just tell that it's progressed a little farther or a little differently or something.
Welcome back, Sean.
That's me listening.
That's great. Okay, so you're first player. So you're
Okay.
gonna have the honors of putting our first die on the tower. There is no tower, so it's not going to be difficult because you can just set it on the table.
Careful. Oh my god.
Oh, this is why you guys made me sit there instead of on the green screen.
Treacherous.
So it wouldn't knock on the table.
Yeah.
Doesn't matter which side.
Doesn't matter.
Doesn't
Yeah,
matter.
go for it.
Boom.
Stack?
There it is.
Oh my god, the table shook. It was scary.
Terrifying. So now we're in the resolution phase, the resolving phase. So you placed the die in the center. So now you're also going to resolve the aspect that you put your die on.
Okay.
So let's talk about that. Yours is on this. So we got that scene of you going down and harassing some folks in the quarries. What does success look like here for you?
I have sussed out 8 people who have hidden tattoos.
Oh yeah, you're finding like the artists. Okay, great.
I'm
Go ahead.
strip searching, apparently.
Hey, whatever it takes.
Yeah.
So you're gonna roll your die, and on a 1, 2, 3, or 4, the thing will escalate badly, and on a 5 or 6, it will succeed.
Okay. Here we go.
That's a 1. So
So bad.
so what happens here that escalates this problem even further? How do you think this attempt to suss out these people? How does that cause more issues for the city?
Well, basically, because I'm doing strip searches, people are now, rightfully so, talking about their privacy being infringed upon.
Yeah, yeah. So, is it the minors? Is it just the minors, not the young people, but the
Yeah. Not those.
but the actual minors themselves? Is it them? Is it the people in the town? Like, how far does this spread? Do you think?
It spreads to, it doesn't get to the inner circle quite
Okay.
yet. But since these people are literally the backbone
Yeah.
of our civilization, word spreads fast.
Yeah.
Like, those 8 people were humiliated pretty badly.
Yeah.
Yep.
And the people who were working that day go back to their families and then be like, see what this bitch did? Yeah, essentially.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Great. So
Yeah.
so why don't we go ahead and create an aspect that reflects that?
Okay. So basically say, hey, our privacy is being infringed up.
Yeah. So the minors and their families feel as though their privacy is being
Okay.
infringed upon. Great. Let's jump over to you.
All right.
What does this scene look like here as you're trying to address this?
Bettel Barlow is at the edge of like that shimmery wall that the center of town is like projecting that protection.
Yeah.
And these leaved people are on the other side. The people have been all twisted by the cloud, and he's trying to figure out, because he's supposed to preserve the city, so if they have something to offer, he would be happy to accept it in trade, because that was his livelihood before he became an ambassador, and diplomacy dictates that he's got to treat every new visitor as an equal. So he's just sitting there kind of smiling at them, sweating a lot, but smiling, trying to come up with some sort of deal. So
so what does success look like here for you?
success would be maybe as part of that cloud has hit and maybe negatively impacted these people, perhaps it has positively impacted vegetable life. So maybe now these veggies are extra nutritious, or like maybe they don't spoil as quickly. So they've had this new discovery. So he wants those. So he's hoping for a good deal, and he's trying very carefully to not offend them because he's disgusted by their.
So he'll make a deal with them, and that will improve the vegetation.
Yes.
Basically.
Yeah.
Great. So go ahead and grab that die, and let's roll it and see. I think it's this one, isn't it?
Yes.
Oh, you have to stack this die on the tower.
We're still.
Great. So the way that the die works is that you can release it once, but then you have to let go. So once you've put it on, you release.
It's
and
reverse
that's it.
Jenga.
It's reverse
Nice.
Jenga.
It's even the same numbers.
Oh, yeah, symmetry.
Is it 4 to 6? Is that
1 to 4 is a failure. 5 and 6 is a success.
no!
The odds are not in your favor, but you will succeed.
I'm very good at my job.
So this goes away, which is great. And describe for me how this scene plays out. What happens here?
You see them discussing back and forth terms and agreements and all that stuff. They don't have need for marble, clearly, but they do have need for regular vegetables. Their new form cannot digest the new ones, so he's trading current food sources for the new ones. And he's just got like a shaky, limp hand going past the threshold. A shake hand with like a hoof. And then the goods come in, and the other goods go out. And
Yeah.
he's like, good day. Just
I
hobbles
love
off.
the idea that the vegetables are growing on the people, too.
Oh, yeah.
You know
He's
what
like,
I mean?
picks one
like,
off. He's
picks
like,
them off, yeah. That's so good. Okay, so you want to write is this two tape? No, it's good. You want to write an aspect that reflects that, so nutritious.
super veggies.
Yeah.
Put an exclamation point at the end of that.
Super veggies.
Great.
All right, so I am working on the cloud.
Yeah. So describe for me what this scene looks like as we approach this moment of truth.
So I have been constructing a tuning tower, basically. Something that will allow me, once the cloud reaches us, to actually like tap into its energy and funnel it into the surrounding area and see what effects might be.
Yeah.
So the good outcome would be it improves the yield like beyond my imagination.
Got
But
it.
maybe the failure would be that it just like completely wipes out that stone in that area.
Sure. Yeah, let's roll and see how it goes. So that scene plays out. That's a 3. So what happens here that escalates the problem with this cloud, do you think? How does what you're doing cause that to become worse?
Maybe the cloud was staying farther away because the aura was keeping it away. So now that I've weakened the city by a little bit, I also am kind of dooming us to have the cloud meet us as well.
The cloud maybe is getting closer now. It's almost like a magnet.
Yeah.
Because you're trying to siphon from it, and it's pulling it closer.
And
and
I basically made it its own beacon to like, hey, come here.
Yeah.
Oh no, wait, no.
Never mind.
So let's create. Let's see the cloud. Just say so why don't you create a new thing that says that talks about the cloud. The cloud is now coming. Oh no, it's right here. Yeah. Twisting life. So the wild magic cloud grows closer. And we'll just replace this one.
Sure.
Yeah, it's important as we go. If there are things on the table that don't feel like they're relevant anymore because they've been replaced or whatever, we can get rid of them because you'll see that
symmetry going.
things happen. Things explode very quickly.
Yeah.
We are never replacing super veggies, though.
No,
That's too
it's
good.
staying there forever. Nice, great, perfect.
I'm already stressed now.
Don't roll at it.
Yeah, do not roll at it.
Oh yeah, what happens? Just hypothetically, if we were to
So
roll rather vigorously.
Yes, so there are
What is
directions
that?
in the book that say if you accidentally knock the tower over, that is the fall of the civilization.
Oh,
Yeah.
So we've had somebody get up from a table, knock the table, the whole thing fell, and that was the end. But oftentimes in this game, like even right now, if it fell, we'd know why it fell, right? Like there is narratively there are reasons. It's just how far did we fall? Great. So we're now on the next round. It moves really fast when it's 3 people. So we're gonna move the first player this way. So you're gonna start as first player this time. I'm gonna hand you the die if you want to put it on something that you think Bedell that you think Bedell wants to change here.
What's the current state of the angry? So he's a diplomat. So he wants to try and calm down the miners.
Oh, sure.
And he's like, this is clearly for your own safety. This is why we're doing this. So he wants to talk them out of being upset.
Got it.
His palace.
Yeah, that feels like it's between you protecting the leaders and the red marble.
Yeah.
Right. So that'll go there. Yeah. Great. That's great. I'm gonna hand you a card.
Okay. Oh no. Oh no. A subculture within the community has recently gained political prominence and has begun to actively oppress another group in the city. Who is this new oppressor and who is being oppressed?
The pallets.
Totally. Chef hats. No smiles. Sharpened rolling pins.
Yeah.
Just doing knife skills.
It quickly became a game about food, which is great. I don't know why.
Well, yeah, I guess it would have to be the palettes because they're the current. Either them or maybe the artists.
It can be any subculture you want, just as a subculture, which is just a group within the city.
Sure.
Right.
Okay.
So who do we think has recently gained political prominence? We can look at what. Oh, you know what? What if it's these guys?
Okay.
You know what I mean? What if
been
it's
searched?
the miners? Because now suddenly
Acting
they're
back,
making
just like, they're like we've infringed on their rights. It's like we're going to create new rights. Rah, power to the people, kind of thing.
Right.
I like that. Yeah. So the miners are, but now who would they be oppressing? Or are they the oppressed?
They've gained political prominence and has begun to actively oppress another group in the city. Who is this new oppressor and who is being oppressed?
Well, maybe this particular batch of miners were innocent, right? And so that they never get bothered again, they throw in with our side. And so they're also hunting down the palettes and other artists.
They're doing the MPAA thing. Do you know what I'm talking about? We're like when the government said that they were going to basically make a rating system, a government rating system for movies. There's a group that got together that's much more minor, but got together and said, no, we will monitor the movies. We'll create a group inside of the Motion Picture Association and make sure that there are labels for the movies that we make. Same sort of thing where it's like, no, we will take care of the artists within our society so that you don't have to.
Our own community.
Exactly.
Yeah,
That's really cool.
Yeah.
So maybe like that's really good.
The minor militia or something.
That makes more sense, although I love the idea of a bunch of pissed off chefs.
They can exist too.
There's nothing stopping that from also existing. Great, I'm gonna hand you a die.
I think I'm probably going to want to affect that militia
Oh yeah.
because they're going to be starting to want rights on my turf that maybe I'm not willing to agree on.
Yeah. Are you gonna try and shut them down? Is that the goal?
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm gonna be a union buster.
We're horrible people. We did this.
That's why we have this.
No, I'm gonna let it happen. We'll be the cause of our own downfall.
Oh.
That's my favorite reaction. Somebody gets a card and they're like, oh.
A valuable resource used commonly within the community is now completely gone.
My cabbage!
What is it? What was it used for? And what are citizens doing to get their hands on the last of it? Right, so they're vegetables.
I mean,
Well, yeah, the regular ones are the super big that we
I'm
just
gonna
received.
say
Well, in each round, like a lot of time has passed, right? We're talking broad strokes.
Yeah, we're talking each round's probably an episode of the show. So, I want to pitch to you that the Super Veggies are running. They aren't exactly what we thought that they were.
Yeah, I'm actually wanting to jump on that and say perhaps it also made people a little different as well. Like it affected them into the fact that they used up the food supplies way faster than they were expecting.
They're like koalas when they eat eucalyptus.
Basically,
They just
yeah.
high.
And so like they just ran through the food supply in a week instead of months. And there's just nothing left. Like even the trade that's happening between the normal veggies and the other veggies, it just can't keep up. There's just nothing.
What do you think that scene looks like?
I would imagine it'd be kind of like the Great Depression, really.
Yeah.
Like there's just like
bread lines?
yeah, there's bread lines and people are like getting rationed food. It's like, sorry, we only have this, and there's just like there's probably like gangs of people who are just like beating people up for their little bits of scrap. So it's getting a little hectic out there.
Yeah, the food is starting to.
The food is scarce.
Yeah.
The superfood.
Also, hi guys, I'm in on the chat now, so I'll be interrupting occasionally.
All right.
Great. That probably goes.
I'm architecture.
Yeah, your architecture, probably near the food, which is vegetables. Yeah, it's probably fine there. It's probably good. We got plenty of stuff happening over here. Great, I'll take that.
Be careful as closer we get to the center.
Yeah. At some point we might have to scoot everything down and give us a little more space. What do you think, Madrigal?
Yeah,
wants
I need to keep order in the city, and fights are breaking out in bread lines. So.
That's true.
Does this replace the super veggies now?
Oh yeah, for sure.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh man, we said super veggies.
We spent so much on that deal.
Because it's still there. It's still there. It's just
not in
that
abundance.
source is just too costly.
Yeah. I love your drawing on this, by the way. It's so good. I'm keeping it forever.
But yeah, fights are breaking out in bread lines.
Yeah.
Or super veggie lines. So
Yeah, you're gonna try and handle that.
order must be kept. So
Yeah,
I'm
great.
headed here.
That's great.
Nice.
We're alarmingly close to the tower.
Okay, I'm handing you that.
Okay, the expansion of the city has started to encroach upon another nation's land, sparking a battle over territory. Who is the other party in this war, and what are they doing to keep our forces from moving in further? Can it be like the Mirror City that we see from the forest?
Maybe like we're now that we've gotten so far, it's actually no longer static and it's starting to spread the same way.
Did we create a thing for that?
Yeah.
Oh, great. Okay.
A mirror image of Icarus is in the forest.
Yeah, so we put that near there. So I'll hand you one of these if you want to write.
Sure. So we're getting close to our Mirror twins.
Yeah.
Mega Icarus. So we are expanding too close to our mirrors. Okay.
Yeah, and so who is the other party? We know who that is. What are they doing to keep our forces from moving in further?
Well, we did say that they were further along in regards to the construction of their.
Right. Their tower is higher.
Yeah. So, which means that their civilization is a bit further along, right?
Yeah.
Is their technology in regards to defense a bit more advanced than ours is?
Yeah. They could be able
They
to
could be.
use that barrier that keeps out the Naz hounds.
Oh, the Noctunes?
Noctunes.
Noctunes.
Maybe it can now also keep out whoever they want.
Oh, so now it's just like
A barrier.
a barrier.
There's a straight up like.
Yeah. It's like
It's a shield.
It's
the dome.
it's Harry Potter.
Yeah.
Okay. I got you. The Deathly Hallows.
The Expecto Patronum.
No, it's the
Oh, the
yellow
barrier
shield.
from
Yeah.
that the professors cast. Yeah, around Hogwarts.
Twin
So we're
Angela's
expanding?
commenting on your dice. She says they're very pretty.
Oh, thank you.
are very-
They're my favorite.
They look like candy. I want to eat them.
Don't eat them.
I won't. I've got Pringles. Super vegetables.
Keep the Pringles coming.
They have now put a basically force field around themselves.
Yeah.
They
So
have
this one's probably gonna get
Would be
switched out.
replaced, yeah, with that.
put a force field around. Thank you.
Ooh, these ones are cheddar cheese.
I shall not eat the dice. All right. So where am I throwing
Right up
this
here.
baby? Right here.
Yes.
Let's replace that one. Perfect. That's good. And that's an interesting, like, just from a narrative standpoint, right? Like, you get to the border of this city. And what do you think that scene looks like as we see these troops moving?
Exactly. That's exactly what happens.
Yeah.
The first, like the avant-garde, decides to take the initiative, and before our sister city can retaliate, they were just the best. You know, the best defense is good offense. So
Yeah.
they charge straight through, but don't because they can't.
Yeah.
They hit the force field.
I love that their name is the avant-garde.
Yeah.
So good. That's such a good name. It's so brilliant. Okay. Okay, so we have gone all the way around. So now I'm going to hand you a die.
Okay.
Die. And you are going to place that on the tower.
Dun, 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 dun. Oh gosh, I'm so stressed out. It's so far away. Oh.
Yeah.
All right, we
That's
good?
not symmetrical,
fingers.
but okay.
We good. Yours is twisted.
No, it's numbers.
Oh, come now.
My OCD is already like, no.
Somebody's
Reed
putting
Cooper
a
says,
design.
I'm very impressed by how
Tower.
charismatic
Right.
and
You got
the
Rebel.
performance style of these two game developers have been.
Thank you. And Scott, thank you for being here. Great. Okay, well, let's talk about what this scene looks like. As which one were you trying to resolve? Which aspect were you on? Yeah.
He wanted to stop. No, he wanted to preserve. I think it was that one.
Oh yeah, the privacy being infringed upon.
Yeah,
right?
That's right.
Yeah.
So, what do you think the scene looks like here as you're trying to succeed?
He's again very sweaty. Extra vest today because he wants to try and cover the sweat, but it just makes it worse. He's like approaching the people again, big giant like politician grin and everything. He's like, now please understand, we are just here to make sure that you are all safe. We have to stretch a little bit to make this okay. That is all. That is all. And, people, of course, very grumpily, arms crossed. And it's just a lot of back and forth. So I'm just being like, no, trust me. Like you're safe. You're good. You're fine. And he's at this point he's grasping at straws. He's hoping for the absolute best, but he knows that these people are pissed.
What do you think success looks like for him?
Success would be convincing. Them just being, yeah, you know what?
Okay.
You're right. Yeah, you know, there are things to be afraid of. Yeah, you know, look, this tattoo, I got it when I was younger. I don't believe in this art thing anymore. You know, like just getting them to like loosen up or realize that it's in their best interest to open up their privacy to those of us who want to take great care of them.
Yeah. Okay, great. Let's go and roll and see how it goes.
I'll roll in my little pocket.
Yeah.
That's a 6.
Wow. That succeeds. So we don't have to add it. I know.
Critical success.
Poor miners. Oh wait, but then the miners are also oppressors now. Wow, no.
So yeah.
That one's. Wait.
Yeah.
Me.
So there's an area in the book that talks about the turn order and how the turn order will change the way in which you might have to address an issue, right?
Right.
So like you might put a die on something, and by the time it gets to you, now you have to deal with the problem that has arisen because of it.
Right.
So what do you think is the result here? What happens?
I think it further fuels their desire to self-police.
Right.
It's like, yeah, we'll let you in for now, but we will take care of this, like
Yeah.
by any means necessary. So they're at the point where it's like, we'll kill our own to get you off of our backs, kind of thing. So I feel like right now it's like lip service to me.
Yeah.
To be like, yeah, of course, totally, yeah, you sure thing, Bettle. Like you got it, boss.
So are they reporting to you now?
No, just this was
okay.
me like as a diplomat coming in and be like, hey guys, everything's cool.
Got it.
I get that you guys are shaken down a little bit by your guard, but it's fine. Like no one was hurt.
We mean the
It's
best
cool.
for you.
So
It's protection.
So
It's just
this
about
was they're
protection.
being infringed upon. So they feel like this has gone away. Yeah. Okay.
So
like-
swayed by your accent.
That's a good accent.
Sounds like he knows what he's talking about.
That's sweaty, man.
Great. So that goes away. We still do have this militia that is in
All right.
place though, and I think was that yours?
That one's me.
Yeah. So describe for me what you think success, or what's the scene look like, and then what does success look like?
Okay. So maybe in like the same town hall, I'm maybe on the same kind of council.
Yeah.
So he's having his bit, and everyone's like, all right, we're cool. And then I also maybe say like, and also it's in your best interest to let the company be your friend. We can also be there to take care of you. And so basically getting them back onto sharing the community as opposed to like distancing themselves and shutting themselves away.
Oh, interesting. Okay, so success here is that they
basically like allow some control back, essentially.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
All right, let's roll and see.
All right. That's a 1.
Wow. Okay. So how does this escalate and become worse?
I get kicked out of my quarry.
Yeah, for sure.
The quarries are now self-run.
That's a big problem for you.
Yeah.
So
Can't make any money.
So what's that scene here as that happens?
Basically, like I'm just trying to do my bit, and I'm just like have a cheesy grin on and everything like that. But then someone in the back just like throws a shoe at his face or something, and like everyone immediately just stands up, and this is like, oh shit, this is the time I need to leave.
Yeah.
And so I leave, and like the whole scene turns into like a mob, and like they go and tear down any kind of construction that was done by the company, like any branding or anything. They just rip it down.
Oh, they're ripping all the branding
Yeah.
down. Yeah, that's terrifying. Okay, great. So go ahead and add that to the tower.
Hey, Bad Chili, thanks for gifting all those subs. Gifted 5 subs. Thanks, man. Appreciate it.
Oh man.
So I found an elbow on the table. Helps.
Yeah.
Like get a
Anchor
little bit more
yourself,
leverage.
but don't push down for the love of God.
Yeah, there you go.
Oh no.
Oh, we can make this even more stressful because this is just sitting on top.
Yeah.
Thanks for the sub.
Thank you for the subs.
All right.
And now we come to you.
Yeah.
So describe what this scene looks like.
Fights are breaking out in Super Veggie Alliance.
Yeah.
There's a bunch of hobos are just like fighting over like
Piece of squash.
like a rutabaga squash.
Yeah. Yeah, because the DNA has been
Yeah.
weaved together,
You get-
so it's
yeah.
a rutasquash.
Yeah, like there's 2 of them left, and like
rude.
8 families want them.
Yeah.
So, I stroll in with my posse,
Yeah.
hoping that just our very presence gets them to,
Sure.
yeah.
So we get that scene of like.
Thank you for this.
I'm like 6'3", so
Yeah, we get that scene of like them fighting over it, and then like a shadow looming over the top of them, and they look up, and it's
Yep.
like you, 6'3", and
Yeah.
all of your.
There's like 3
men
guys
and
behind
women.
me, and then on the other side there's 3 more people,
Yeah.
just like kind of closing in on, not doing anything,
Yeah.
but they are making themselves known.
Sure. So what would success look like here?
They stop fighting.
Yeah. So the fighting has ceased.
The fighting has ceased,
Okay.
and whoever is at the head of the line gets the rutabaga squash. One of the 2 left.
I'm just imagining Brienne of Tarth right now.
Yeah.
Yeah. So cool. So how does your presence there cause this to be?
First strip searches, now she's trying to take our food.
Yeah.
Like, she's trying to keep us from getting our nutrition. So, one of the people that was fighting, they stopped fighting actually. And they recognize a common enemy in us. So they take such vegetables and start throwing them at us. They start weaponizing vegetables. So now, not only is there like lack of order, there's like more chaos, but like our resources are going even further.
Yeah. So there's riots. Riots break out and food is being wasted.
Yeah.
Okay.
Aim in
Yeah.
the face.
Yeah.
Getting really
All right. So
stressed
have you
now.
write that, and then you'll stack the die.
I don't want to write on this. Because now that I know,
Here,
yeah.
right on my leg.
Thank you. So riots are breaking out.
The people are rioting. Frankly, it's a little disquieting.
Elaki was asking what game it was. They informed me. He says, "Okay, new to me. Cool. It's new to everybody. It's
Yeah.
on Kickstarter right now, and it's the top link that just went into the chat. So go check it out." And at the end of the game, we're going to donate. Well, we're going to back a copy for one of you, and we will send it to you when we receive it.
Yay. Thank you.
Yeah, man.
So where should I put?
I don't know. Where do you think it would go?
Let me see. Where's the breadline card?
Right here.
I'm gonna replace this with this because this is
Yeah.
even worse now.
Yeah. Totally.
That seems right.
They're just hitting him.
And now the dice.
Oh man.
Let's stack the die.
So far.
We put it really far from the kid.
That's right, I'm lucky. God, you guys. This is
Already
okay.
You can stand too. I oftentimes go to the standing.
You made the game, so I'm gonna take your advice.
Watch it, we're not open! I'm sorry, I'm stressed out.
Yeah! Excellent work.
We'll have to take another tomato to the head. That's a fruit.
I just recognize this music. This is combat music from Pencils and Parsecs.
Siren's King.
I should be on a Star Destroyer right now.
Great. Okay, so now we're gonna jump over to you. You're first player, so
Okay.
I'm gonna hand you a die. What do you think your character wants to change that's out here?
This is a question from Radish Cooper you might have.
Sure.
Is there a way to gift Kickstarters so surveys go out to the giftee instead of the backer? I don't know.
I'm not sure. Yeah.
We'll look it up. We'll
Yeah.
get to you,
I
man.
might be able to. Google might be our friend here. I don't. Yeah, I'm not sure.
Science.
Science.
Squeaky chair.
I'm thinking maybe all of these events are possibly tied to this wild magic cloud. And so I'm thinking not to try and solve the actual problem. I'm going to try and find a solution from other magic. Trying again, possibly to bend the cloud to my will to correct these wrongs that I feel are happening.
Yeah, you're like Benjamin Franklin. Like just throwing a kite to the wind and hoping you're gonna channel some sort of magic.
There must be something here.
Sir Alabaster Flynn.
Yes, Sir Alabaster Flynn with his kite.
Bifocals on. Top.
All right, I'm gonna hand you this. Which, by the way, I don't think that's a real story. I don't think he actually ever did that. I think that is a myth. He never flew with a kite and a key.
Something's getting worse.
Okay.
An outside force tries to invade the city.
Ruh-roh.
Who are they? What is the purpose of the invasion? And what's their plan? All right. So, I should stop touching the table. The mirror Icarus. Now that they saw that we tried to invade them before they could prepare a defense, which I mean they already had their wall of power up, but they are now going to retaliate. And basically they already reached past whatever or never even had these problems and
Till we
advanced.
came along.
Exactly. And so they're going to just take all the resources that we have and build their tower even taller.
Yeah. So I guess my question here is narratively, who are this is a tower, this is a place that existed or that popped up practically overnight, right?
Yeah, and it's possible we haven't been able to get over there to research it, but maybe something that whatever power that their tower is exuding, maybe it is also causing them to warp through time or dimension.
Yeah. Does that mean that when they invade, she's leading the invasion, but a copy of her?
Oh.
Yeah.
You know? Like future
parallel,
versions or parallel versions of I love the idea too, because did that thing show up after this wild magic thing happening?
After the cloud? Yeah.
So what if that was actually ripping a hole in dimensions and has brought a different version, a parallel version of Icarus?
Yeah.
But the same people just
a little more advanced.
Yeah, that's crazy. So it's like duplicates of the Icarus forces. Like they meet at the barrier, and it's just
See two Bettles trying to negotiate with each other.
Same accent, different accent?
Same accent.
Same accent, okay.
Can we have a moment of that really quick?
Oh no.
Can we see what that's like?
I'm just here to make sure that everything is all right in your Icarus. Oh, no, please. No. I'm more concerned about your Icarus. Please tell me about your Icarus. No, our Icarus is okay. It's fine. I mean, our tower's a little bit bigger, but we don't like to brag. No, it's fine. Your Icarus, you get there. You get there.
Just be a
Very
bunch of that.
condescending.
Right.
Yeah.
And they're like passing like little shitty gifts back and forth to each other. It's like, oh no, this one was given to me by my mother. I wanted to be
Like one of them is chewing on like a carrot apple. While they're having a
It's
conversation.
just like carrot.
That's so good.
So that is being replaced.
Great. Yes. Perfect. I'm gonna hand you a die.
Okay.
Oh, that can go away.
Yeah. What do you think Madrigal wants to do here?
Let me see. What does this one say? I'm afraid of touching the table now.
Lack of artistic vision equals weaker magical presence in our
I wonder if like the other Icarus actually embraced their artistic
their
vision.
artistic vision. Yeah. Oh, I love that. So,
Yeah.
so describe for me the shot that we get that reveals that.
So we look at back to our tower, which is just like straight up, like nothing. It's just nothing really special about it. It's just stone. You look at theirs, it's just like beautiful, like swirling, perfect. Like the most artistic thing you could do, and it's just like glowing brighter than anything you could see.
Oh, that's so cool. Yeah, that reveal of like them looking at the tower, or them looking at this tower that we're building, but it's just been sculpted into a beautiful, a beautiful monument.
What is this one say again? Hell no. So the quarries are now running themselves. I like that quite a lot. I'm gonna go to the quarries and make sure that everything is. Make sure everything is free of tattooed ruffians. Just checking in.
Sure.
Just checking in. I'll offer more military support. if needed. Because everything is very orderly, and I like order.
So you're going to the place that you know you're gonna be able to do a thing. That's
I
great.
just had vegetables thrown on my head. I'm gonna go to a place where I'm welcome.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Well, you're welcome.
Yeah.
Great. So go ahead and put it there. I hand you a card.
Okay. There was a sudden surge in population. What caused it? And how does the city attempt to curb the number of births? Like, are just people having babies left, right, and center, or just like
super vegetables? Everyone's having triplets, like sextuplets and stuff.
Yes. Is it like the Brooklyn Academy where women just give birth all at once, like gestating,
Oh my god.
There's hormones in the veggies. Actually, no, I'm gonna go with it. I like it.
I like it a lot.
Veggies for the win.
Yeah.
So what's the scene we see here as this is happening? Like, what is it?
Basically. As fights are breaking out in veggie lines, people are taking advantage of the chaos that has erupted and are just like sneaking in fights of like whatever while while everybody else is fighting. The people who are a bit more opportunist basically just start biting down and popping out babies.
Well, I love the idea that we got the scene before. We got the scene before of some people taking advantage of that, right? And eating the vegetables the super vegetables that have been stolen. And then all of this stuff happens and we cut back to them later. And they're having a child and she's like, I didn't know I was pregnant.
Right.
You know? And they're like, it's been 3 weeks and she's now having a child.
Oh, good, it's not instant.
I don't know, it's up to you guys. You get to make the final call here.
That's what I was worried about. But I like the 3-week time jump.
Yeah, there's like a gestation period, a very short gestation period, and suddenly all the people that were eating those vegetables now are giving birth
At an alarming rate.
Yeah.
To multiples, apparently.
So we read a thing to reflect that. So what caused it, and how does the city attempt to curb the number of births?
Oh, man.
Yes.
I forgot about that part of the question.
It's available. No,
No, I'm trying to be creative. I am, you know what? The city has pinpointed exactly what is causing this abnormality in regards to the population spike. So all super veggies are now just whatever's left of them burnt in the town
they're
square.
all burned. Yeah.
That is my
Out of
solution to this
vegetables.
problem.
Yeah.
Oh no.
Yeah. I think that's great. Let's go
Okay,
ahead and write it.
so, super veggies.
Super veggies.
Causing super pregnancies.
Yeah. And now the super vegetables are being burned.
Are super gone. Yeah.
Are super gone. I love
I just fucking love how super veggies are prominent in this story.
it. You throw it out there and it
Yep.
becomes a major part of the game. You have to live with your decisions.
Metal God's already suggesting to just kill everyone with starvation. Oh, is it me?
It's you. Put your die on something you think Vito wants to change.
Super veggies.
I think in a desperate attempt, I would say since Bedell has been negotiating and has been very close to the edge of the city in like a non-violent fashion, he has taken note of the more artistic version of the city and is beginning to consider that the best way to preserve the city is to adapt.
Got it.
So working against his own organization in order to try and reinstitute this thing that is banned. So he's trying to like find people to, like he's joining the underground basically.
Wow.
His very non-subtle ways.
Gotcha.
To do that.
I'm gonna replace Cloud, Twisted, Folk, Want, Veggies, because now there are no more.
Yeah.
Super gone.
Super gone. Okay, I'm gonna hand you a card. We're in the last era.
That sounds about right. An underground group within the city starts recruiting angry citizens for a private militia. What
We
is
already
their
have one of
cause
those.
and who is their leader? So there's got to be another one.
Yeah. Because we gotta have a climax where the militias fight each other.
The tradesmen.
Yeah.
The tradesmen, all we've had to work with is our stone, our red marble, and our vegetables. And I would say maybe a large quantity, not being able to tell the difference between the two, of even our home stock has been destroyed in the process as well. So now the tradesmen are like, we got nothing to do. Like, we're not bringing anything in. We can't trade with this other nation that we finally, like, they were scary, but we're good.
Yeah.
So they're trying, they're like, no, screw this. Like, we need to make a living. And the tradesmen are everywhere. So because they work for you, you know, they do all this other stuff. So
So they're putting together. So what's the question?
They're what's the cause? So that's the cause, and then who's their leader? Their leader.
Is it you?
Sure.
Please.
Benjibano is now the leader of an underground group within the city.
Yeah, you can take this
So
one.
is he subversive? Because he used to work for the city, right?
Yes,
Yeah.
he's just changed his ways. He's going for the artistic vision, and so now he's trying. I think he's just trying to do a whole upheaval, I guess.
Yeah.
So he's gonna work with the artist to like, just do it.
Could he have been inspired by his like twin on the other side?
Yeah, totally.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's why he's like chatting with him, and he's like, oh, I see, like this is much better. So clearly you're doing something
Yeah,
right.
I love that scene. Let's get that scene really quick, right? Like you're being walked around the other Icarus with your other self.
Oh, like a full tour.
Yeah,
Oh,
and they're like, this is why our Icarus is so powerful, is because we've embraced this artistic, stuff, and so you're having to come to terms with that.
So as you can see, all of our power here is brought by the spire, and we give all of our love to the spire, hence all the shapes, the carvings, all of this, and so even our clothing, we express everything, every emotion we've ever had through everything we've built.
And like my Barlow is looking at his Barlow's like jacket, and it's got it's a boss, it's got lace, it's got designs, there's like ships and
filigree,
stuff. It's all this
It's like Harry
stuff.
Potter, where like did I move?
And like,
I was imagining Inuit, kind of like how everything's a blessing.
Oh yeah, that too.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah.
I love that.
and Mirror World Barlow is like, he takes off his jacket.
Oh, and he gives it to him.
And he puts it on the other Barlow, and Barlow's like, right. And he goes home and starts fucking shit up.
I love it. That's such a cool scene.
He gets even sweatier.
No, he no longer sweats.
He no longer
He's no longer sweating.
He's on purpose.
Dry as a bone.
Wah! You swiped.
They did. No. Goodbye, chat. I hope you want to learn about Gungans.
This is Gungan 5e race.
So
George Lucas would
Oh,
be
so
proud.
me, Bedel.
Is now leading a thing to.
Yeah. So he's leading.
The tradesman.
Yeah, the tradesman. Maybe it's even a combo: the tradesman and the artist to just be a militia and start.
Is it an artistic militia?
Totally.
Oh god.
Got like paint
They're
guns.
spray, spray painting. Oh, that's so cool.
They're like Sabine from Rebels.
No, they have chisels and hammers, and they're going for the tower. And they want to start carving it out like the one in the other town.
Yes. Oh wow. This is getting epic now.
I know.
Chad said that's a huge tablet. Yes, it is.
Yeah.
So we said, "Damn it, Art, the tower!" When you set that down.
Oh yeah. I forgot about the tower.
It'll be fine. It'll be fine. Okay, we're back at first player, so now you have to add a die to the tower to represent time passing.
Yep.
Sorry, not you.
Okay.
There it is. So because you knocked it over, you get to describe what's the scene
Okay.
that happens as the tower collapses.
Okay. Oh, all right. So they start going after the tower with their hammers and chisels.
Yeah.
But because they didn't get the miners involved, the ones who actually speak to the stone, they were hammering it and chiseling it, but it just broke.
Yeah.
It doesn't respond to like physical stress. It responds to being moved.
Right. Yeah.
And so like they tried to start carving it and it just cracked. The power immediately faded away. The barrier drops immediately, and all of the worst things imaginable just run into the city
Yeah.
and wipe everything out.
So I love this idea of the other Mir city. They're watching on as this is happening, right? And I want that moment of Bedel, and maybe we see the three of your characters actually standing on the other side, standing, and we get them watching the tower like crack and crumble and fall, and the whole thing, like the lights start to fade, right?
Just like imagining like the fall of like the Tower of Sauron.
and we just get Bedel saying, isn't it strange isn't it strange to see it fall again? Isn't it? And it was actually from the future. They were actually from the future, and this actually is what happened to them. And then they went back to like we were seeing when they rebuilt the civilization as an artistic, as a place of art.
Okay.
It's kind of a cool like way that.
We all learn from our mistakes.
Yeah. And so they've been watching, knowing that this was going to happen, but then they also had that happen to them. So it's just this big time loop.
Right. And even like maybe Bedlam was kind of like had this idea in his head, like maybe if we go back early, we can be even farther advanced.
Sure.
And like I'll talk to myself. He'll be reasonable. But like they weren't ready.
Yeah.
It was too soon.
I love that.
Yeah.
So we answer 3 questions at the end of the game once the tower is fallen. The first one is what caused the tower to fall. We talked about that.
Right.
The second one is what happened to our characters in the aftermath. So let's go around and talk about what we think.
You were at the
I was at the quarries.
You're at the quarries.
Yeah.
So let's start with you. What do you think? What do you think became of your character once the tower started to fall? What's the scene we get?
Let me see. So I'm at the quarries. I'm at the outskirts of Icarus, and all of a sudden, as I'm like patting the head quarryman on the shoulder, saying, "Job well done."
Yeah.
Thank you for not having any vegetables on you.
Right.
There's a horrible like rumble and
crash
and trash from the distance.
Yeah.
And I see the tower in its state just fall and just implode upon itself.
So I guess my question is, because your character was so against the art, as the city starts to learn to embrace that, what becomes of your character during that? Do you adapt? Do you fight it? Do you leave?
You know what? What? So is the barrier between the mirror cities now just gone?
I think so. Well, the barrier that you guys built is
The barrier that we had up to protect the city from the night hounds is dropped, and they are
the
invading.
night hounds are.
Oh, okay.
So basically,
Oh, I think she gets taken out by night hounds.
well,
I'm gonna be honest.
Yeah, I mean,
she's right there.
We have this parallel thing that has happened, right? And so,
Yeah.
but like history's not repeated itself perfectly,
Right.
And so,
Yeah.
you're like maybe your future self is watching as you like
and you're
get
like, oh wow, she died in this one.
yeah, yeah,
I rolled badly.
yeah. Like the night hounds just upon the quarry. I think that's cool too that we see them like invading the quarries because that's exactly what this tower was supposed to be protecting as we
Right.
were expanding.
Right. So
And
like our inability to adapt and our rigidness ended up being my downfall.
Yeah, yeah. We just get that scene of you guys in the mines and hearing the barking, that awful, terrible howling and barking from these dogs, and in like a flash, like you're just
Swarmed.
Yeah.
Oh my god! And I can like even imagining like it's only noise because once the city's lights dim,
it's dark.
It's
just
dark.
nothing.
It's dark.
So you just hear it and
Yeah.
you know that there's something coming to get you, but you
can't see it.
prepare for it.
Oh, that's so good. I love that. What do you think happened to
Well, Bettel's
Bettel.
right up against the tower. He and his miners are chipping away, or not the miners, the tradesmen are like chipping away, trying to create something beautiful in the last possible moment. And they crack the tower and it falls, and he's just heartbroken. He was so sure he had the right idea. So as it tumbles and as the darkness falls and all that, he's about to turn to his friends and say like, hey, you know, destruction is a form of creation, no? And then a Nocturne just gets him by the gut and takes him out.
Yeah.
Stains his new coat.
Oh.
But they'll come out.
What do you think happens to Sir
Alabaster?
Sir Alabaster.
Where was he? Oh, he was out in the middle of nowhere trying to get that cloud.
Yeah.
You don't ever see from him again.
Oh, we don't know what happened.
No.
Yeah, he goes into the forest and disappears with his tuning fork and his kite.
maybe he starts wandering other dimensions.
Yeah. Oh yeah, we see him just like
Cyberpunk.
pass through. So he goes in the cyberpunk dimension. The last thing we have to talk about, the final question is, what became of Icarus in the aftermath? So what became of this city, do we think?
I think the marble is so valuable in its composite to strengthen magic users. Finding that quarry again would have definitely been another city's goal.
Treasure.
Yeah.
Does the other Icarus expand?
I mean,
Or no?
I feel like that other Icarus is just a traveling city now. Like it's here for a time, but not forever. So they might take some if they need it, but I don't think they have that as a high need anymore.
Yeah. So I love the closing image of this, right? Is that the other city? Yeah, like we see them gathering some of the marble, and they say that's enough, right? And then that force field, we see it sort of like crackling and shimmer.
Yeah.
And then out of the dimension it goes, and it leaves this fallen civilization in its wake. And that is Icarus.
Yeah! Oh my god! Oh, that was dope. Love it.
How do we feel? One more time.
I love it because like everything that felt like a throwaway in the first moments, vegetables, became just like it became integral, became this whole woven thing, and I love the way that the turns work in this game, and I love how collaborative it is, and it is designed to be, which is cool.
To
It's
literally
like everyone
build
takes
upon each other.
Yeah, that's
So we
piece
can
that
knock it all down.
This is a giant game of yes and.
Yeah. It's a big. It's sort of a. For me, what I like to use this for is to build a setting to play another game in. So we've done, you do this where like we now have this fallen place that you could go explore in a D&D session. Like you stumble upon this place where all this red marble is glowing, and there's broken towers, and like there are these Nocturnes that have invaded, and that's something that you would fight. So you can sort of build these cool places to explore with it. These ruins of civilization. So, but yeah, thank you so much. Oh, sure. Playing.
Awesome.
Yeah, I'm so glad. So it's on Kickstarter now. It has, I think, 8 days left. We're at $24,000 right now, which is 240% of the goal. So we are, so we're funded. So if you want to back it, you will get it.
More money.
Yeah. It is going to exist. It is going to exist. It's going to be a thing. So if you want to go grab it, go grab it. We have a couple of different options. One of them is a $5 tier that is a digital version. So the cool thing about that, there are a couple of things that I'll talk about. The first one is this deck maps to a regular set of playing cards.
Okay.
So if you don't have the money or you don't want to spend the money right now to be able to buy the full game, what you can do is just get a regular deck of cards and use what's called an oracle. So it's a printout that you can have that tells you what cards to use, and then as you draw them, you look at the oracle and it'll tell you what it is.
That's cool.
So that makes it accessible for people that don't have the money to be able to back the $35 level, which is the standard. It also comes with, and everybody gets this as well. It comes with a Dex accessibility tower. So what that is some people, whether it's because you're playing online or because you have Dex problems physically, like you aren't able to stack the die. So it comes with a piece of paper that allows you, it's a half sheet, and it has numbers on it essentially, and you're rolling a die and marking off those numbers, and that tells you when the tower would fall. It's mathematically the same as stacking the die, but if you're playing online or you don't have the ability to actually stack the die, it gives you the opportunity to play it as well.
Awesome.
So that there's a $5 level, and then the $35 level is the game. So what you see here, and even more, the deck of cards, custom die, and a nice book, and then there's also some bigger level stuff that's like, we have a whole mat that goes out around the table that allows you to spread the aspects around.
One that
and stuff.
attaches to the table.
It's one of those like polymer mats that you roll out. It's nice. So.
I'll jump in for 2 seconds.
Yes.
Everyone, put in the keyword Icarus in the chat, and then in about a minute we're gonna draw, and then whoever wins, we're gonna back a copy for you. We'll send it once it's complete, and it'll be yours. Yay! And then you get to play it.
Yay!
So, exciting.
Come bring down civilization.
And then once we wrap up, Art and Amber have a. Do you want to talk about it? Or you want me to?
Yeah.
All right.
Well,
That was an either/or statement, sir.
here you go, Mike.
All right, so we have Art and Amber's wedding video because a lot of you have asked about it. So we're gonna show it to you guys.
And then we'll rate somebody at the end of the
And then we will rate somebody. So everyone. Oh, sorry. Was there more? I totally
No. It's all good. We're just wrapping up. We're just pulling the cards. But thank you so much for playing.
This is fun. Yeah.
It's sort of outside the realm of a normal RPG, so it's always interesting to bring it on, and it's sort of like a writer's room thing too.
Yeah.
So it's always interesting to see how people take their roles and and really lean into those motives and play the game.
And it's so rare to find any level of RPG that you can play within this particular time.
Yeah. Like it was what, 2 hours, something like that?
Less than.
Even that?
Less
than that. Yeah.
like
So
hour
we
40.
found like a 90-minute game is pretty satisfying.
Yeah, absolutely.
If obviously you can spend more time describing things and playing out scenes with each other and stuff, and that expands the time. But we did that, and it was still only 90 minutes. So.
Every card, you're like, you could go this many thousands of ways. So it's like, even if we replayed the same location or the same scenario, which I don't think I would want to do, but if we did, there'd still be all these extra options and things that we could
and there are lots of cards that we didn't even touch. We only made it 3 or 4 cards into the final hours, and there's 12 of those. So you shuffle those, and then you get new cards every time. And then there's also extra cards for each of the eras that come in here that you don't use. There's 7 cards that you don't use.
That are era specific.
And 5 that you use. Yeah, so we didn't even use half of each of the era cards as well. So you have plenty, you can play it 3, 4, 5 times and never get the same cards.
That's very cool.
So.
And the mechanics are simple enough that really anybody can jump in.
Yeah, and that's kind of what I wanted to do, right? I wanted to make it accessible enough that people can, because there's no GM. So I want to make it accessible enough that friends can sit around a table and bring out the deck and bring out the small, the book is is fairly small. I think the final book's going to be like 40 pages or so with extra settings and art and all sorts of stuff. But the rules themselves are pretty simple
it's
once
very
you get it.
accessible.
Yeah. So.
Yeah.
Deadly Nightshade, congratulations, you won!
Yay! And I'm keeping this Super Vegetables card forever because it's illustrated. Amazing.
That got weird.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah.
Super Villagers.
They've got hormones.
Amazing. Amazing.
Super strong hormone.
You got your video?
Yeah, we'll close out with the video, so we don't have to come back after the video.
Okay.
Straight after that.
Okay, yeah, I'll find somebody right now. So, our goodbyes.
Yeah, go back.
All right. We're wrapping up. This is it. This was our most successful studio day ever. So thank you everybody for tuning in and hanging out. We have applied for partner. We're just waiting to hear back. So we're in little twiddly thumb limbo right now, which is fine. But we had great games today. Awesome guests. Good to have you back.
Yeah,
Keep
thank you
making
so
stuff.
much. I will. I'm gonna
You
keep
don't have
making
to make
stuff.
something to come back. You can just come back.
Don't come unless you have to.
Here you come.
Yay! Hey, watch it! I'm just saying people's name now.
Great.
So, quick thing. The video is about 7 minutes long. So if you guys can hang out till the 7 minutes, and at the end of the video, we're gonna go on. We're jump into the raid.
Cool.
Yeah. So we're not gonna come back. We're just gonna say goodbye now. Thank you so much for helping us. Thank you so much for being a big part of our partner push. And we'll see you on Sunday.
See you soon.
See you on Sunday. Sunday in Philly at 6:30.
That's tomorrow.
See you
That's tomorrow. And then 1:45.
Yeah.
Goodbye.
But stay. Keep watching.
But stay.
But
Yeah.
don't leave.
Buy from us,
Why am I
but
buying
not.
from us?
Yeah.
Goodbye.